In this session, I'm going to talk about the Git fundamentals. I'm going to use github.com as our repo for the various repositories. So let's start with Git Bash. So this is a Git Bash window available on Mac. This is also available on Windows when you install Git Bash. We're going to talk about the installation part at the end of the video. For now, let's talk about the concepts of Git. So here I have a folder called git-demo. I just created a folder, and I'm gonna see there's nothing in the folder. It's an empty folder. So I'm gonna create a new folder inside this. Let's call it article. Okay, I have this folder called article. I go inside this folder. Pause, please. Now I'm looking at this a folder called article, and there is nothing inside this folder. I'm doing an ls-a. I don't see anything in the folder called article. So I'm going ahead and creating a file called readme. So I'm creating readme.md, a small markdown file. So I create this file. So I'm getting this. Now I'm going to edit this file. I'm just going to add a simple one-line comment. So I'm using a VI editor here, so I'm going to insert. I'm going to say this is a header, or let's this is a header. So this is the first line of the article which I'm writing in Markdown. So I'm going to save this, escape all WQ, and I can do a cat on it, so that I can check whether. So there is a one line added here. Now I want to make this a Git repo, because I want to keep track of the changes. So what I do is I do ls-l. So I do git init. When I do git init, this folder becomes a Git repository. I do git init. Now it initialized a Git repository here. Now I can do, when I do ls-a, I find a .git folder being created here. As you can see, there's a .git folder. So this indicates that it is now a Git repository. This folder has become a Git repository. So now I can add, I can do git status. It says that this file has to be added to the Git repository. It's like a readme.md is like a untracked file. So what I do is I do git add readme.md. Now I do git status again. Now it says the file has been added. It is staged to be committed, but it's not yet committed. It's just staged to be committed, and that's why you're seeing this. The color as green, which means the file has been staged for a commit, but it's not committed yet. So now I want to commit this file. So I say git commit -m. I'll say first line added. This is a comment I'm giving for this git commit. Now the git, I say enter, and now it has committed, and it says that this file has been created. Create mode, and this file has been created. readme.md has been created. Now again I say git status, and it says there's nothing to be committed because all the changes have been pushed in the previous commit. Now the thing is, this is done locally, and I have not pushed this to a remote repository. So we need to figure out a way to push this to the remote repository so that others can see this. So let's do that. I'm doing a git log here to see what has been logged in the file. So I see one commit here. So when I say git log, I see one commit here with this commit ID, and which says the head is pointing to master, and then it says that this is a comment that I added. The first line, this is a comment that I added, and it shows up here. So what we'll do now is we'll create a repository in GitHub and try to push this commit and the repo we just created into the GitHub remote repository. So let's do that. So here I am in GitHub. I go to this repositories tab here, and I create a new repository. Let me make it bigger for you. Yeah. So I create a new repository here. I'm calling it some article repo. Okay, it's available, and it's public for now. And I'm not gonna check this box because we already have a README file available. I'm not going to check this box. And I'm also not going to do all this. I'm just going to leave this as it is. But if you're doing, if you're creating a repo in GitHub which does not have a README, you can check this box. For now, we're not doing this because we already have a README file in our repository. So I'll just say create repository here. And once I create a repository, the GitHub will give me a set of commands I can execute locally to get my repo into GitHub. And if you noticed, we have already done this. We have already done some of these, like we have done git init, we have added README file, we have done our first commit, but we have not done the last two parts, last two lines of commands here. So let's do those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this directly and paste it here. Now what this will do is it will add this will just add origin with this endpoint here to our local Git repo that we just created. This will not do anything. So the way to look at it is this: if we say git remote -v, it will show me what I've added as origin. So if you look at this, right, I have added this name called origin, and it points to this GitHub repo that I just created, and it has a fetch and a push. These two are the operations of this under this remote repository. Now what I'll do is I'll do a git push, which means whatever the commits I have. So if I do git status, git log here, I have one commit here. This commit will show up in the Git repository. So what I'll do is I'll say git push -u origin master. So when I do this, this commit lands onto the remote GitHub. So if I go here and refresh this page, I would see that one commit that's been added here. So I added this commit here, and since README is actually read by the Git itself, you are able to see this rendering here. So README is like a special file that shows up directly in the GitHub repository as a document for documentation purposes. So let's do one more thing. Let's add another line and then do a commit and see what happens. So here I am. I'm back here. I'm still having this file README. I'm going to open this again, vi readme.md. I have one file. I have one line here called header. If you see this, if I open this, there's only one line called header. So I'm going to add one more line. So I'm going to do an insert. Press enter. I'm going to add a small JSON file. Let's see where. So I'm going to add a small JSON string here. So I'm going to say status colon OK. So this is actually a markdown syntax. What are we seeing here? This is like back quotes and 3 back quotes and JSON, which means this is a format JSON. This is a markdown syntax which you need to learn, which is available in the GitHub documentation. So I'm going to add here sample JSON object. I'm going to save this WQ, and I'm going to do a cat on it to check whether it's been saved. Yes, it's been saved. So I'm going to, if I do a git status now, it will show me that this file has been changed. So it's been modified. So I'm going to add this to the staging area, and by doing git add. So this gets added to the staging area, and then the color turns green. So if I do a git status now, it's green. Now I'm gonna commit this. So it's a git commit -m added a JSON document to the file. So that's my commit message, and I'm going to do a git push. Now I just have to do a git push because in the previous command here we already added the origin. We already added, if you look at this, we already added git remote origin, we already added all this stuff, so we don't have to do it again. We just have to do git push, and it will automatically go to the master branch and origin because that's where we are. So how do you know what branch you're on? So you just say git branch, and it tells you what branch you're on. It says I'm in master already. So also all you need to do is git push, and it'll automatically push your commit into the master branch on your remote repo. And if you do a git log, it shows that there are two commits now. The first commit at the bottom, and the most recently committed will be at the top. That's here. Now this is called this commit ID. Whatever you're seeing here, it's called a SHA. SHA is like a one-way hash which stores the difference between the first commit and the second commit. It is just the delta between the change that has happened to the file. Okay, so that is the basics for creating a repo and doing a commit. And if you go back and refresh this, you will see that the changes are there. And then you can also look at the commits by clicking on this link here. If I click here, it shows the difference. It shows the delta between the most recent commit. So this is the previous commit, this is the header, and this is the most recent commit. And these plus indicates that this has been the new entry. This has been the new changes to the file. And sometimes you need to look at all the commits. You can also do that. Let's talk about Git branching now. A branch is actually an area. It's like a temporary work area for your code, which is a copy of a parent branch. So if I'm branching out from master, my child branch will have the entire copy of the master branch because master is the parent. So what I'll do is I'll just create a branch now. I'll just say git checkout -b, the branch name, which is feature dash, let's make a feature called as C#. So I'm creating a branch here. So generally when you create a branch, you can say git branch branch name, but I'm using a shortcut operator where I'm creating a branch. I'm also checking out to that branch. When I say checkout, it means I get a work area. Where I can do my work independent of others who are working on this repo. So let's see how this is done instead of me talking about all this. So I do a git checkout -b. I say feature dash C#. It's one of the conventions to use the branch name with the feature or a bug prefix. Every team that you have has different conventions, but most of them have this feature prefix added to the branch name. And also notice that the case is actually lowercase, and it's also snake case because of hyphens in between. So let's create a branch here. Now I see it says switch to a new branch. How do I know what branch I'm on? I'll say git branch. So I'm right now. So if you look at here, right, I'm actually in feature dash C# instead of master branch. I'm in a different branch now. So again, I'm gonna have the same file here. I'm going to open this file. I'm going to add a line to this. I'm going to modify this file, and then I'm going to check in back into a new branch, and I'm going to show you how this is done. So now I'm here. I'm going to insert. I'm going to add something like this is sample C# code. And then I'm going to add this C# SHARP. This is actually a markdown syntax for writing C# code. I'm going to do a sample public static void main string array. I'm going to close this. console.write line. Hello. Yeah, so I'm gonna save this file and I'm gonna do a status again. So it says the readme has been modified, so I'm gonna add this back to the repo, to a local repo, and it'll turn to green. Git status will now turn to green. Now I'm gonna say git commit -m. I'll put a comment, the same routine stuff. Added C# sample code, and I'm going to say git push. So when I do a git push, it creates a new branch remotely. See what happens. Let's see what happens. So what it says is git push. So because we are right now in the feature C# branch, there is no branch corresponding to this branch in the remote github.com account. In this account here, I don't have a branch called feature.c#. So what it's asking me to do is it's asking me to use this command instead. So I'm going to copy this command and I'm going to paste it. And this will create a new branch remotely and save my changes. So now as you can see here, it says this branch has been created in addition to the master branch that we already have, right? But the thing is, if I go here, if I look at my file here, cat of readme, I have all the changes. I have the sample C# code here. But if I switch back to master, we check out master. If I do a git branch again, it shows I'm in master branch, right? If I do a cat again on the readme file, I won't see these changes. I will see the changes that are done on master, which will not have the sample C# code. Let's see again. See now, I don't have the sample C# code in master. It means whoever has checked out master branch will not see my changes. So in order to see my changes on the master branch, I have to create a pull request and merge my changes from my branch to the master branch. So let's see how it's done. So to make it simple and easy, I'll create a pull request. I click on this button here. It says a pull request able to merge the base is master branch. So the reason this shows up is because this branch's parent is master branch. It says I can merge back to master without any conflicts because master has not changed yet, and it is asking me to write a comment for a pull request. So I'll just say doing PR for my C# comments. Okay. PR is a short form for pull request. So I'm going to create a pull request. So I have this pull request. The idea behind pull request is that whenever you are merging to master, you want somebody else to review it to make sure whatever you're doing is correct. That's why we create a pull request. Pull request is just a staging area where you want others to review your code, make sure it is correct, make sure it is up to the guidelines that you were thinking that is right, stuff like that. So once you're okay, once everybody's okay with this, you can just merge the pull request. And when you do a merge, your changes will go into the master branch. So it says it's been merged completely and correctly. Now if I go back to master, so if I go back again to the code here, and now I'll see both. I'm seeing both the sample C# code and the JSON object in the master branch itself. So I'm in master here. But if I go back to the feature C#, it is also identical to master because we actually checked out from master itself. So now if I go back to if I do a git branch here, I'm in master, but when I do a cat on readme, I don't see the changes. So in order to see the changes in the master branch made by the PR, we just have to do a git pull. And then you see the changes. You're actually, now you're in sync with the master branch remotely, and you're able to see the changes that have been done. So if I do a cat now, readme, I can see the C# code here. And also if I do a git log, I would see all the commits and the pull request here. See, I can see the, so here if you look carefully, right, this added C# code has been created on a different branch, which is what it's showing here. And here it says there has been a pull request and a merge from that feature branch to the master branch. That's all for this session. I hope you had a good time. Thank you.